job where they're driving pretty crazy on the shoulder there, Des. My goodness.
Well, this is a really weird one here, Pat, because, okay, here's the vehicle right here, and they have got their hazard lights on, and this all started with the suspect that was driving on the right-hand shoulder, so that's what the violation was that they wanted. But now they have reason to suspect that maybe this driver's brakes are not working, and that maybe there's some sort of language barrier as well. Oh, let's see what CHP's actually going to do. The freeway pit, the really rare maneuver right here, and the vehicle is continuing. Now, here's the thing. I mean, if you know how to drive, and I'm pretty sure they still teach this in driving school, you put the vehicle in neutral, at the very least, and then you could apply the emergency brake, and we haven't seen anything like that. So they just attempted that pit that on the freeway. There's CHP's back there running a brake to make sure that no one else gets involved. Let's see. They were also talking about maybe getting in front of the vehicle and forcing the car to stop.
Why are they going so
just
slow,
a very, very unorthodox pursuit here, Pat. Let's see what they're going to do as we're getting off at Highland. Almost sideswiped the officer right there. So we're headed towards the heart of Hollywood. Going to go by the Hollywood Bowl. We're still in rush hour traffic, so we got a bumper hanging on for dear life on this late model Lexus. I think it's maybe a GS sedan, but very, very weird one here, Pat, that's for sure.
You know what, and if they couldn't stop, why wouldn't they just, what's going to happen here?
Yeah. The brakes work
there.
Right.
No problem stopping there.
They could have just, in my opinion, pulled over on the grass or something, or kind of forced the car to to stop.
Yeah, or at least take your foot off the gas. You don't have to keep accelerating just because your brakes don't work.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. Now on Cahuenga Boulevard, right in Hollywood Hills. This is just, I don't know how, my goodness, I'm almost at a loss for words, believe it or not. This is
real quick, the driver's on the phone with 911. So listening to that right now, the driver is on the phone with 911. He is giving them some information. I'm going to be very careful of what I relay here because I don't want to jeopardize anything. But the driver is on the phone with 911. Obviously, the dispatchers or the call taker at CHP telling him to pull over. The information is being relayed. Yeah. So I'm just listening to that. They're talking to him. So hopefully they'll be able to convince him to pull over. But at least there's contact with the driver. That's can be half the battle. Now, will he do anything with that opportunity and pull over? We'll see. Des also, and Pat too, this is much faster than.
Wow,
he's really riding the shoulder.
It's on the verge of losing it.
We're looking at the fluctuation in speed there. So there is something clearly. They're going faster now.
Yeah. They were going
I'm almost scared to see what could happen here.
They were going so slow to begin with that CHP was having to run a traffic brake so that the regular traffic wouldn't catch up with him. So that's how slow we were going, and now we're pushing 80 miles an hour.
So now, look at this. Oh, guys, this is just terrible. This is very frightening here because obviously they're accelerating.
Oh, man.
Right?
And trying to fit through some very narrow areas.
They in there, though.
With the bumper
we are
hanging
almost in North Hollywood now. Actually, Universal City. I mean, northbound 101 here at Lancashire, just blasting along the right-hand shoulder. Again, that bumper could fall off at any second. There's all kinds of stuff on the shoulder, almost romping, almost like off-roading right there. Continuing on the freeway through the Gore Point. So this is, of course, that congested area approaching the Hollywood split. I know it. Boy, the northbound 101 here at almost at the 170, so got to be a decision coming up. This very congested intersection, but definitely not buying the brakes not working thing anymore after what we saw getting off of the Highland off-ramp there. I mean, now it's just super. I mean, if that pursuit wasn't dangerous enough that we were covering earlier, Pat, with that HVAC truck, this is even way, way worse. The speeds that we're looking at here and just what is going on behind the scenes on this one, and on the phone with the dispatcher as well. I mean, this person, there's definitely something going on. If they are just in a very, very troubled state of mind or what. But, yeah, I mean, 80 miles an hour zigzagging all over the place. Coming up to the Hollywood split here, we'll see what they're going to do. It looks like maybe we're going to stay right in the middle there and decided to go north 170 into North Hollywood. So flying along here almost 100 miles an hour, and it's a scary one here for sure.
And even, I mean, if that bumper comes off, that could certainly impact other drivers, other cars on the freeway. That's frightening enough to think about, even if you're not even that close to this vehicle. But this is just too much for words. They're driving in the 100s right now. And again, when we first got on the air about 5 minutes ago, we thought that maybe that something was stuck, the accelerator, but no, because we've seen these speeds
that bitch holding on for dear life.
Mostly up since we've been on the air, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Now look at this, and the way they are maneuvering in and out of traffic, you wonder what they could be talking to the dispatchers about, because he had to call them.
Yeah, he's the one that called in, Pat, and so far I've not heard any additional communications between the dispatcher and the officer, letting him know what them know what he is saying. Now there is an LAPD helicopter that is coming to provide air support. We have seen those ground units significantly back off. They've been instructed to do so by the sergeant that is calling this because of the really intense high speeds and the dangerous situation that this driver has created for everyone. So they want that LAPD helicopter to be the one to kind of hang out and make the calls here as we continue northbound 170, exiting here at Oxnard.
Yeah, right by NoHo West, right by the big commercial development right there, where a lot of people are probably headed after work to enjoy the evening. So, the movie theater, lots of restaurants, a grocery store, and stuff like that. So, and again, look, coming to a stop, no problem. Coming to a stop right here. So, that was definitely a bunk there. Now going into NoHo West. So,
huge parking garage.
We got the big parking structure right here. Yeah, there sure is. So let's see if that's what they're planning to do.
That's what they're trying to do.
I thought no. I think it was actually the bumper, but
there it goes.
Almost.
No. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I kind of almost wonder why not, but I didn't see any units directly behind the suspect. I'm just going to zoom out here and
right.
No, there is not. There we go. Wanted to go into that one. Yep. So and right as LAPD's helicopter got overhead as well, but we'll keep the shot kind of wide and see if a sedan dragging a bumper comes out the other side. But this is quite often the strategy that we see, and just started with super rude driving on the right-hand shoulder, and then just decided to gamble during rush hour, damage the vehicle. We didn't hear anything about the vehicle being stolen, so just totally ridiculous all the way around. What is going on in that person's mind to do what they did down through Hollywood at 100 miles an hour, bumper flailing all over the place, but into the parking garage, as so many of the pursuits have been lately. Pat, go ahead.
You mentioned the LAPD chopper overhead. Now, did CHP, were they over this? They were not behind this, because this started on the freeway, correct?
It did, and CHP was the initiating agency, and this goes back to what we talked about yesterday, Pat, and we'll see. I don't know definitively that a request was made, but CHP is being more judicious with how they fly. And they did not launch on this one. They're not in the air right now. And again, if that's because they decided, hey, there's an LAPD helicopter that's much closer, let's just use theirs, we'll see. But yeah, there's certainly, SkyCal was the helicopter that was overhead when this guy went into the parking lot.
Following them on the ground.
There were some ground units on the ground, but then when he hit those triple-digit speeds, Pat, that's when they started to back off, yeah.
Well, you know what? Des still has that picture up, and Des, you have not seen. Well, now we really don't know. He can just leave that car in the garage and come out as if he's just a pedestrian or customer, if you will. And we don't see any police cars, right, Des?
Yeah, no police cars on this one, and I heard CHP clear the frequency as well. So I guess they've thrown their hands up on this one. We didn't really ever get a good look at that suspect either, so not much of a description to go on into a particularly large parking garage. Unfortunately, these have just really played into the favor of suspects, increasingly common. It's more than a weekly occurrence. It already has happened a couple of times this week already. So third pursuit of the day, this time ending in a parking garage, was able to get a lot of distance between the authorities. Was just getting too dangerous. I mean, we saw CHP taking a pretty aggressive tack, but that may have just been because they were under the working theory that the brakes weren't working and that the vehicle was malfunctioning.
I mean, when you think about it, this started because officers saw
be able to pick out a person that's going to be able to walk around because he was going so fast, nobody was able to get a description of him.
So they have his name and number because he gave it to them?
Yes.
Or
he called in. That's how they got his phone number.
So they can get that.
Right. And so I can't tell. It's unclear if he was.
He gave him their name, his name. And nigga tweaking.
able to, if he gave them his name, or if they were able to get it from running the phone number. But one way or another, it sounds like they know who he is and have his phone number. And the last conversation that he had with them, from what I'm listening to, was that he's got to go pick up his kid from daycare.
Yeah, so he called back. Is that right? So he's called twice. So they even didn't get it the first time. Maybe they had a long enough conversation with him, right, to decipher where he was calling from and to get his name. All right, well, we still, Desmond, again, here we are, sitting looking at a parking garage and no sign of that vehicle coming out, that's for sure. So even if something's wrong, they may have the wherewithal not to come out of that parking lot with the car being damaged, knowing that, you know, they could easily be picked up.
Yeah, and you know, they definitely got the license plate as well, and so even if he were to rip the bumper off so that that wasn't, you know, sticking out like the sore thumb that it was, I mean, they would still have the license plate, and you know, that will get.
Yeah, it's over, bro. That ain't not getting caught. Yeah,